Chapter 20. Ray. It took an hour for room service to bring condoms and lubricant, and in that hour, Josiah curled into him, and they fell asleep in a sex-drunk haze. He dozed with Josiah's taste on his tongue and both of their heady scents filling the room, until there was a knock at the door. The knock roused him enough to crack his eyes open, but he didn't get out of bed. Instead, he pulled Josiah closer to him, letting the penthouse staff leave the supplies right inside the door for them. He closed his eyes again, and when he finally shook off his haze of sleep, the condoms and lubricant had been retrieved and they were sitting on the bedside table, taunting him. Josiah had settled in his arms again, nuzzling into his bicep. "Josiah," Ray murmured. Josiah turned bedroom eyes up to Ray, and his eyelashes kissed the meat of his heavy brow bone. "Nothing," Ray murmured, lifting Josiah's chin with his free hand and pressing a kiss into his lips. "Wanted to make sure you were okay." "I'm fine. Better than fine." Ray nodded. "Good. I got the condoms and the lubricant from the door." "I saw," Ray rumbled. "Do you want to," Josiah paused, "review them?" Ray chuckled. "Is this your way of asking for us to continue? Because if so, it's the cutest way I've ever heard someone ask for sex." Josiah scowled. "I'm not trying to be cute, but I'm not just going to say, 'Come on, please pound my ass, daddy,' because it's too forward." Ray bit back a groan. "Would you rather me say something vulgar?" "Seriously?" "I mean, it's sex," Ray laughed. "I mean, it's not vulgar, but there's nothing to be ashamed of, either. I want us to be open with each other. I don't want you to sugarcoat what you want. Ever." "I guess," Josiah frowned before turning away from Ray. He reached for the condoms, opening the box and pulling a strip out. "If you want me to be honest, then." Josiah paused. "I want us to make a dent in this box." "Oh yeah?" Ray rumbled. Josiah nodded, tearing open one with his teeth and peeling it out of the wrapper. "What are you going to do with it?" Ray challenged, leaning back on the bed, exposing himself to the other man. He was game for either option. With Josiah, he could go either way. Normally he subscribed to being a top on the rare chance he slept with other men. Women were plentiful, but for someone living his life as bisexual, men accepting of it were hard to come by. He liked the hard body of a man in contrast to soft, plush female bodies with wide childbearing hips and hair nearly as long as his. "I want to fuck you, then I think I want you to fuck me," Josiah announced with a tremble in his voice. It was a bold declaration, and Josiah's face was deep crimson as he slid the condom over his cock. Sec," Ray groaned. It had been ages since he'd taken a cock, but his body still knew the drill, and his stomach pinged with excitement as he slipped out of bed and disappeared into the bathroom. He didn't keep Josiah waiting for long. He returned to the bed after a few minutes, stark naked, after shedding his clothes during a shower. Josiah's wide eyes greeted him, Adam's apple bobbing in his throat as he swallowed. "How do you want me?" Ray smirked, giving Josiah an undisrupted view of his body. He gripped his own cock, cupping it and his balls in one hand, as he waited for the other man's verdict. Josiah swallowed again and motioned to the bed. "On it." Ray smirked. "Back or front, baby?" "Front," Josiah croaked. "Cool." Ray laid down across the edge of the bed, stretching his muscular body before pulling his legs up, exposing himself to the other man, who stared and licked his lips. He coated Ray's hole with lubricant before working his way inside of him, prying heavy grunts from Ray's throat. When Josiah had rooted himself inside Ray, he paused for a breath, situating his hands on either side of Ray before straightening up again and holding onto Ray's body. "Is this okay?" Josiah breathed. "Yeah, it's perfect. You feel good inside me," Ray encouraged. "Come here." When Josiah leaned forward, he placed a hand on the back of the other man's neck and pulled him into a kiss, curving his back as he started rolling his hips. Josiah's nervous energy dissipated slowly after the first couple thrusts, and the continued ones were deliberate, dragging moans from Ray's lips. A smile stayed on Ray's face as Josiah took him, and they found their rhythm together. Ray rolled his hips to meet Josiah's, and Josiah dropped his hips to bury himself inside Ray with each thrust. When Josiah hit the perfect spot, Ray groaned and planted a hungry kiss on Josiah's lips. Josiah hit his spot again, ringing another moan from Ray, confidence growing until his hips slammed into Ray with each continued thrust. Ray's whole body tingled as Josiah continued, and the familiar tickle of an orgasm started inside him, growing like a clam's crystal until it had formed a misplaced ball, until it was time for the built-up tension to be expelled. Getting close, Ray groaned as Josiah hit his spot again. "Fuck, baby. Your cock is perfect." He stroked his length, squeezing the base before juggling his balls and reaching further down. His fingers brushed against the spot where their bodies joined together, ringing a surprised groan from Josiah's lips and another one from his own. "Oh, I want you to come with me inside you. Paint your chest with it," Josiah demanded. His request was light, shy, but he made it anyway, and when it hit Ray's ears, Ray instantly came. The dam broke loose and his orgasm whipped through him, starting at the tips of his hair follicles and traveling all the way down his body like crashing waves. His hot cum splattered on his sweaty chest, ropes of it striping his pecs and sliding along his abs, pooling in the center of his stomach. "Aw fuck, Josiah." "Fuck," Ray growled, jerking himself until the last drop of his orgasm had worked its way out of his cock. Josiah groaned over him, muscles trembling as his own orgasm worked through him. With tight-shut eyes and a look that was mixed between pure bliss and sheer terror, his cock pulsed inside Ray's tight ass. Ray captured his lips in a kiss. Josiah didn't kiss back, but he didn't need to. Ray did all the work. He brushed their lips together, tongue pushing into Josiah's mouth. Exploring him. Claiming him. The kiss continued until well after both men had come down, and Josiah's condom-covered cock slipped out of him. Ray reached between their bodies, peeling the condom off Josiah and pulling him down again. With one hand, he deftly tied the latex condom, and then he dropped it on the floor as he shifted their positions. He cupped Josiah's face and eased Josiah from on top to the bottom. He fit his body between the other man's, and he nestled himself against Josiah. Their desperate kisses and hungry touches roused them both for a second round, and Ray took Josiah, fucking him as gently as Josiah had taken him. He coated Josiah's hole with lubricant and pushed in, letting the other man adjust inch by inch. Ray's eyes crossed as Josiah's almost impossible tightness urged him towards another orgasm. Josiah relaxed under him, moaning each time Ray pushed all the way in. It took them no time to reach a second climax. Josiah had years of tension built up, and Ray was excited to take the journey with his virgin lover. When they came again, Josiah cried out with his pleasure, and Ray drank up his moans. Their sweat mingled together, along with both of their sticky orgasms. Ray's muscles jumped under his skin, and Josiah shivered under him. With a second condom wrapper discarded near the first, Josiah and Ray collapsed into bed again. Their bodies intertwined and sleep grabbed them. It had been late in the evening when they started their session, and it hadn't ended until well into the night. Their exhausted minds and bodies welcomed the sleep and the uncomplicated pleasure they had just received. Ray cracked his eyes open several times through the night, looking around the room in a haze before he dipped back into sleep again. He woke the next morning nestled into Josiah's side. The cum and sweat had dried on their skin, leaving visible streaks of white across Josiah's dark chest. Ray woke him up with a kiss, and Josiah sucked in a breath, drawing his life from the other man. "Morning, sexy." He grinned. "Hi." He shuddered. "Hungry?" "Yeah. Always." Josiah closed his eyes again. "I enjoyed last night." Ray's lips tugged into a smile. "Me too." He stroked Josiah's cheek. "Could go for a round 3. A round 3? We just woke up," Josiah mumbled, knuckling his eyes and rubbing his hand over the dried cum on his belly. And I need water, a shower, and some food before I'm ready for anything else." He laughed, swatting at Ray before sobering. "Thank you. Thank you for making my first time amazing." Ray dove on him, biting his neck and growling. "You're welcome. I know you probably want to check your social media and your emails, so you go ahead and do it, and I'm going to go make us something to eat." Don't make breakfast food. Make dinner food since we slept through it last night. Sure thing. Ray laughed and eased out of bed, slipping on a pair of briefs and grabbing his cell phone. In the kitchen, he retrieved rice and fish from the refrigerator and turned it into a light meal that worked for breakfast and dinner. After sprinkling the fish with seasoning on both sides and boiling the rice, he combined them into one pan and covered it, letting it simmer. He leaned against the counter, crossing his arms over his chest and checking his email first. He deleted the daily routine of junk emails, which had replaced the stack of traditional junk mail. After he'd finished emptying his email inbox, he shifted to the news, swiping through business first, then shifting to entertainment. He and Josiah had hit the top of the entertainment news often enough, usually for positive things. There were constant reviews of their relationship, speculation and analyzation based on Josiah's social media, but today's headline made the easy smile on Ray's face drop away. Ray Yamada, esteemed business owner and partner to Josiah Nelson, suffers childhood sexual abuse. Will it affect his relationship? It was a 10-minute read written by an armchair psychologist and local gossip channel, but it was also private information. Only a few people knew about Ray's childhood. His family, his best friend, and Josiah, who strolled into the kitchen with his nose in the air. Breakfast smells, Josiah started, but his words cut out when their eyes met. Ray growled, clenching his jaws. What is it? I can't believe you'd do this. For all the talk about how you're not like your family, you seem to be just like them. What are you talking about? Josiah knit his eyebrows together. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Ray tossed his cell phone on the table, motioning to the headline. Your breakfast is in the pot. I need a shower. His tone was wound tight like a jack-in-the-box, brewing tension on the verge of an explosion. Fists clenched, he stalked out of the kitchen. Part 3.